out loud because I know many of you are very prolific silent readers, and I appreciate that.
And then here comes the big boom of thanks, so that you get to hear it first, you don't leave and miss it. First, we have to thank the Bowery Poetry Club and Drain Park for this, being able to host the event here again. Thank you, thank you. Hold the applause till the very end so that you don't have to hurt your hands and I can get through it more quickly, even though everybody deserves mega amounts of applause. I want to thank AG, the executive director of Bowery Poetry now. He took all these different emails and complaints and stuff from me and the team, and here we are. We're in this space. We did it. I want to, of course, thank Bob Holman, the founder of the Bowery Poetry Club. And he'll be popping up to read a poem when I'm done blabbing away here for the House Tech. I do especially want to thank the tech crew, Danny, and thank the bartender, Josiah, and Cyril Blank. He deserves applause right in the middle right now. He and his wife have the company Synextra, and he's from France. He's new to living in New York and has agreed to try to fuss this hybrid functionality, and it's just that we can do this at all is really entirely up to him, and we're very, very grateful. So if you have a chance, do thank him, and when it doesn't work, blame me, okay? I'm already damaged, it won't hurt anymore. Let's see. I also want to thank City Lore, Steve Zeitlin, and Eva Pedraglieri, is that it? She helped with the PR and did a great job so that there could be a link so people could at least learn more about the whole event. I want to thank the whole Brevitas Festival committee. In the past, we had the committee read first, but that was just too much alphabetical mishap for me at this point. So I just want to thank Amy Barone, Esther Cohen, Ron Combe, Maria Lasella, Zev Shankin, Carolyn Wells, Steve Zeitlin, and once again, I thank myself because I'm here to accept all the blame. I do want to refer everybody to this blessed new website that we have for our group. It's www.brevitas.art. So if you haven't been to it, many members have already signed up, and they're posted online. But if you'd like to be on it after the festival, go to the site or just, I don't know, email me. We're not sure if the brevitaspoets.gmail actually goes to anybody yet, but it is rather nice that it exists. Let's see what else. Oh, I also want to thank, Esther Cohen and Kira Tilson for the website. The last thing I want to thank are vaccines for COVID, so that we could all be here. We survived, we're together, and as flawed as it is, there's still something very poetic and special and hopeful, and I hope that this becomes a hopeful and healthy year for everybody. So here is how it's going to work. It's tentatively, according to the alphabet, according to a brevitas sort of herding cats way, going to be alphabetical. People live will be called up to these 5 seats, and you will read 3 poems from the book in order, but if you don't read them in order, we're not going to know because they're not projected. Please just recite your name, because I have a theory that you all know best how to pronounce your name. I don't need any more challenges, so I may just call you up to the seats, and if I mispronounce it, you get extra credit from me and extra love. Just means I am listening to my own music about the whole thing. The virtual poets, those of you who are watching this on YouTube, you have in that attachment, and it was also pasted into the email, a dedicated URL that you can tap to be in the waiting room on deck. We were going to try to do this alphabetical, but if you can just sign on, 4 people can be in the waiting room at once, and after each group of 5 poets live reads, we will go to whoever is waiting virtually, and again, please say your name. Part of the whole point of the live festival is that we only know each other by emails, and this is our chance to see absolutely how gorgeous we are, and that means we don't really recognize each other because our assumptions may have been underwhelming compared to the actual gorgeosity of each face. Let's see, what else? Oh, there will be a very brief intermission. because about 8 minutes, just so that you can please go to the bar and support the club, support your own thirst, and be sure to tip. And then at the very end, there'll be an open mic for those of you who are guests of people who are coming. If you'd like to buy additional copies of the book, they're $10. Let's see what else. And I think, well, what I'd like to do is, first I'm going to have Bob Holman come up and read, but while he's finding his way to the stage, let's get part one, group of poets, to come up to these 5 seats. Oh, the other thing is, I meant to bring it up, we had these little microphone condoms. You'll each be handed one. You open it up, and that way each person has a clean mic. We're not talking this close to something mechanically, so that I want all of you to be here next year. I don't want any COVIDities or COBIDities or mobidities happening, okay? So that's, and I think it's adorable. And there won't be any new baby mics being birthed this evening. Okay, the 5 coming up now are Amy Barone, Jean Bild, Jan Garden Castro, Bill Considine, and Catherine Fazio. And now it is a great pleasure, honor, and gift to be able to introduce my friend and the wonderful Bob Holman.
Do I get a condom or just use this condom?
Yeah, here you go. That's mine.
Thank you. Okay.
Demonstrate how it happens.
All right, here's how to do it, guys. Okay, thank you, Steve. You're removing the prior condom, placing my condom. Please, did I hear it? How about a nice round of enthusiastic enthusiasm for the condom demonstration? I think that the person that we should all be thanking, of course, is Flash Rosenberg. And not least of which is, if you'll notice that there's one little anagram down here that says Art Vibes for Brevitas. And if you want to see it in its full glory, op art glory, look over here. But don't look too long, because you too could get sucked into that black hole from which no one returns, even if you have a dog. Okay, all right. I'm going to be reading these 3 poems from that were written for the Ukrainian American poets' response to the war. War haiku. That crow on that fence, uncaringly particular, looks up just as bomb hits. Ukraine wheat fields wave, winds wind eternity over homelandscape. Burial mounds, bomb craters. Bless the broken tanks, O Lord. They provide a place to hide behind. O Lord, let the keys be inside. All right, send out a text. Send out a text encrypted but easily decrypted, including letters found only in Ukrainian alphabet, not Russian alphabet. Say, we will be leaving Mariupol at first light, 5:30, by such and such a route. And then sleep in. Send out another text, encrypted but easily decrypted, saying stuff your bazookas with dirty undies, causing backfire and shit stains everywhere. Send out long, difficult to translate text, using lots of letters only in Ukrainian alphabet, going into great detail, the etymology of the word bazooka, which in fact was named after a novelty musical instrument invented, built, named, and played by 30s U.S. comedian Bob Burns, who wasn't really that funny. The instrument consists of 2 pieces of stovepipe that slid into each other trombone-esquely, with a funnel welded onto the inner pipe. The instrument was played by sliding the pipes back and forth exuberantly while humming into the pipe opening. There was no mouthpiece, only a buzzing embouchure. So it was somewhat kazoo-like, a hint of how the name came to be. By this time, the Russian soldiers tasked with translating this Trojan horse of a message will be falling asleep, which is a perfect time to attack them with a bazooka of course. Thank you very much. I'm sorry to have to leave you all, but I'm called to duty. Thank you.
Once again, the demonstration of the condom thing. If you remember, take it off, put yours back on. That's it, okay? And that, what? Oh, I mean, if you don't want to keep it as a souvenir of how much fun you've had, you may have other microphones to protect yourself from. Yeah. But here it is. That's good. Yep. Let's add some more stuff to the landfill. Now, I want to say there's only one person waiting in the virtual. If you're watching this on YouTube, find your dedicated link and connect in now, because after the 5 poets, we're going to go to the who's ever in the virtual room waiting for you to read. So that's what's going to happen. And then you all know your names, so when you get to the mic, please introduce yourself with your little mic condom, and off we go. Starting with Amy Barone. Thanks, Amy.
Great to be here. I'm Amy Barone. Blue fields. I find forsythia and bluebell sprouting near home, far from local and global strife that's churning nerves. In a nature preserve close by, across 4 miles, spice bush, toad shades, and yellow lady slippers blanket warming grounds, alongside creeping Jacob's ladders and shooting stars. In the bluebonnet state of Texas, a festival in Ennis celebrates 40 miles of wildflowers and fields of blue, wine cups, black-eyed Susans, and Indian paintbrush. Along 500,000 acres in Tennessee, fire pinks, bleeding hearts, and jack-in-the-pulpits join trillium, columbines, and dwarf-crested irises to form a natural monument, an oasis of peace. Next poem, thank you. I saw the light. In the eye of the sky, I spotted a smile miles wide, a celestial light steadying the horizon. Measure. Precious as golden red saffron stigmas from a fragrant healing spice that feeds on little water, as treasured as the corner blue butterfly that relies on fire and wild lupine to survive. Rare as a chestnut Galiceno horse that arrived 500 years ago in the New World, or the faces, the encounters, the places that nourish the anima.
Oh, there we go. All right, Gene Build. Headstrong companion of my youth. I told my dad I didn't know him well, just to talk to. Though actually I was there the night he blacked out twice. Ice cubes in his underwear brought him back, and he said, "Now we're getting somewhere." Headstrong, headlong, headstone, age 19. Salacious cetaceans. It's said that gray whales may taste the face. But wait, while engaged in that happy embrace, I hope they drink deeply of their lover's eyes, though some will say I anthropomorphize. I ate an edible, and that night I dreamt my wife was standing on a sidewalk in front of our building, trading our bitcoins for fried eggs. I asked, "What's up?" And she told me to take these fried eggs upstairs, put them in the fridge, and bring her more bitcoins, which I did, though I prefer to eat my eggs warm.
Jan Castro changing mic condoms. Each poem in this series has been changed, so listen and don't even worry about the book. Poem for Howard. In answering the door, you answer the song you always sing, the I ams pounding in the swollen foot and hand that measure cancer's grip on your guts. The rest of your body is bone, silver angel curls frame your beatific head. You resume the divan, reciting themes of recovery and travel evenly, beside a true tale of taking 2 hours to trim your toenails as you are going home. Settling things with yourself, separating mind from body. You floated up out of yourself, leaf-like, into the air, kissing you goodbye. How America Was Born for Salman Rushdie. Can we each question one law? Segregation once was law. Socrates was sentenced to drink hemlock 399 BCE just for talking. Need one die to birth ideas? Is truth to power a high idea, a scam, a death sentence? How was America born? America was born only when Jefferson capitalized it in his Declaration. Capital letters suggest a team. Did capitalism benefit all? Islam was born when Muhammad capitalized the idea, 610 AD. If it borrows from the Bible, is what is left out profane, even if it's in the Bible? Who decides truth? Sentences. Why did you attack my friend? All he did was free speech. Some laws put other people's lives into free fall. Who's really free? Free speech ain't free either. And thanks. Thank you. This one is Polish writer Rembrandt, 1655, take 7. Opens with a quote from Frank O'Hara. I look at you, and I would rather look at you than all the portraits in the world, except possibly for the Polish writer occasionally. He said that in 71. All we know is the artist painted it at 49, a red-hatted, red-legged youth with a pale riding cloak, a quiver of arrows. We miss seeing the hammer in his hand as he weighs, striking the thing ahead, whether a spry snake, a human foe, who knows? Few can spot a rowdy crew bunched round a fire amid a blur and crumble of buildings, distant land and tree shapes. We even overlook godly clouds in a murky dusk. Blindly, viewers eye the brighter's bright outfit, his white horse, their luster, maybe the keen consciousness of a young man guarding himself. Are the dark forces around him or within?
Right. Bill Considine here. Glad to be here. This first one is Sun Ra and the Creators. Sun Ra being the jazz artist. All day I listened to Sun Ra on the radio. He discusses how jazz art is a form revealed to him by superior beings who don't care about any future for humans, but want him to play and record his music as they teach him, so all can hear it now Sun Ra's music is a message of faith from all those gifted by the creators with music eternally by rehearsing 6 hours a day. This is the purest ontology of Hegel, who proved that God exists because the nature of God is the idea of God, which exists. Perfectly conceived, it soars resoundingly through music. Thank you. This is Shedding Light. Flicker, scant, a brief light. Shed light. Leave it behind. What do you sense without sight? What's in your darkened mind? Peer deep. How far the gaze, worlds of tumult. How fast the focus of your days is a dear few who've passed. Now linger on the living. Their love's within our reach. Embrace the light they're giving and shine with all they teach. And the third one, Italian lyric. I brought a large bunch of sweet grapes we can share. I'm a satyr today. I've slung my pipe of 7 reeds and feel sure-footed for the way uphill again. I know a new mountaintop, palace of gold, a villa with doors flung open to the splash of bright fountains. In pink marble, high-vaulted rooms, we'll plunge into cold and hot baths. Nymphs of carved stone will suggest caresses that fulfill our affections. We'll quiet the honking, squabbling swans with grass and daisies to gobble and feast. Thank you.
So just for those of you watching at home, you are encouraged, if you've signed up to do virtual, to find your link and check in. We have 2 people on standby to do this virtually, George Northrup and Patricia Kerrigan. And let's be hybrid. Here we go.
Okay, great. Thank you. Hi, Flat. Oops, too loud. How you doing? Yay, you did it. Magic. Okay. Okay, Ukrainian, gonna start serious and then gonna end funny. All haiku. Ukrainian haiku. Bombs cannot destroy the tiniest sunflower. Blue Ukrainian sky. Sunflowers still grow in graveyards made from rubble. Burnt flag waves in wind. A child walks alone. His hand holds a teddy bear. Order lies ahead. Orthodox Easter. 2 nations worship same faith. Mothers bury sons. And now on the lighter note. Ready? Baseball cat code. Cat in left field. Interrupts game. Butt wash. Cat strikes out. Umpire regrets decision. Cat bites pitcher. Runs home. Wins game. Thank you. Happy Brevitas. Bye. Back in Brooklyn.
oh, the excitement of live performance. We're going to have somebody else later. Hopefully more people will tune in because we went to a lot of excitement to make this a possibility to have people at home on TV. I'd like to call up while I'm blabbering away, since Austin Alexis is coming here live, if you would come. This is for the 5 people to be on deck, all right, till I do this. And I also want to say that everybody deserves massive amounts of applause, but let the person finish all 3 poems and then offer it, because that'll be nice music for changing the mic condom. Okay, that way we're not holding things up, so everybody has enough time and feels like they're not being rushed. Okay, so Austin Alexis, and then Bonnie Finberg, Dorothy Friedman August, Mark Johnson, and Ron Colm. So if you want to just come up to the on-deck seats, and John J. Trouse, who's doing a great job of herding everybody into the seats and providing you with your own very personal mic condom. I don't even know if that was mine. Was it? Probably not. I think so. Ow, forgot. Okay, Austin, you're up.
I was supposed to do this virtually, but I couldn't get on my computer, so I just walked over. The trip. I switched on my radio. An earthquake of news rumbled my afternoon. Wars heaved and exploded via waves of the airways. To escape, I traveled to a nearby park, sought its harmony of green. There I sat, pacific, in a sauna of contentment, until a squad of pigeons fighting over breadcrumbs scrambled over my feet. Preferences. I enjoy cooking things, raw creation. What I dislike is all the cleaning up I have to do afterwards, said God, glaring down at humanity. Indigenous artifacts. On an Adobe's bathroom shelf, a Navajo vase sits, broken at its beige and ancient rim. A turquoise and yellow design printed in a lasso around its fat body survives whatever attacks cracked the fragile top. Communal, tribal, the rhythmic motif intertwines fine lines as it dances across the base in an eternal circle. Thank you.
Please announce your name, okay?
Oh, I'm Bonnie Finn. Oh, I have to do this. Wait, where'd I put it? Oh, here.
And everybody has a little art project to put a little hat on the microphone. It takes a certain dexterity to be a poet and a performer.
I'm sorry?
It takes a lot of dexterity to be a poet and a performer. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Oh, Bonnie Finberg. Okay. Let's see. All right. Quarantine. I'm going to take this off. She walks over to the window facing the townhouse across the street, looks up at the windows of a top-floor duplex. Well, I'm glad you got rid of that lamp. We died for your skins. She told me about the first time she went on African safari. They went with 2 other couples. All the husbands were in the gun business. Well, arms business, if you look at the extent of their involvements. He wanted a lion, maybe a rhinoceros. She wanted to shoot an ostrich for its skin. She wanted to have a bag made and a pair of boots. The women went with a separate guide from the men who were gunning for bigger game. They all shot a lot of animals. After she got her ostrich, she saw her friend coming out of the bush. She was so excited that she blurted out, "I shot a peacock! I shot a peacock!" She broke into gales of laughter telling me this. "Did you get your bag and boots?" I asked. "No, all the skins rotted. They didn't treat them correctly and they had to throw them out." "Did you see the rotted skins? Did they show them to you?" "No." "Do you think they might have kept them, sold them, maybe lied about it?" "No. No one even thought that. They were a reputable company." Epilogue. 4 decades later, he's remarried, someone else's problem. Maybe she's tamed the beast. Perhaps. Maybe she wields a gentle whip that threatens to return him to his cage if he doesn't behave. I hope so. More for her sake than his. I've stopped caring. As for me, I'm alone. My sisters suggest a dating app. Single woman looking for single man between the ages of 50 and 65. Slim, in good shape, no potbellies, no baldies, good sense of humor, easygoing, highly intelligent, knows when to engage in conversation and when to be quiet. Some overnights and breakfast conversation over coffee, then goes back to his place, tolerates clutter and infrequent housekeeping but willing to do same, good cook, no picky eaters, politically aware but tolerant of other points of view, clean-shaven, sexually adventurous but not disgusting. I'm not holding my breath. Had to take the condom off. Well, if I meet Trump, it would probably fit.
Dorothy Friedman August.
Hi everyone, welcome to the 2000 Brevitas meeting. We had a lot of meetings before Brevitas got started, but we have to go back and look at our early history to see them. So I really wanted to read America Shot 41 Times and say, take a bus ride from Ferguson to Staten Island. It isn't that long to stand. We've been on buses before with Rosa and Martin in this promised land, but I won't read it. That was actually only the beginning. I realized it was more than 14 lines, so. Okay, so let's see, what do we have here? Okay, where we were born. We were born in a nearby town called Flatbush, where it was very quiet, except for the sound of our brains caught in the machinery. Not fully conscious, we made our way from gaiety to sadness, barely visible, floating in the urine of irony. And the second poem was retrieved from a drawer. It's called Waiting for Walt Whitman and the 5:30 Hurly-Burly. A lilac was last seen in the dooryard blooming for Walt, but now that it's been made victim to global warming, an emissary's been sent to disrupt its legal right to bloom here. And since you are neither florist nor clergyman, the flowers throw themselves at your feet, revealing their preternatural feelings. So, if you tap into their brains, Nurse's Cap, Agatha Christie's, and Demon Lilies will come out from under as a trilogy of blazing snapdragons shooting flames. And the last one is actually it's part of a longer piece, frankly. Anyway, if I have a chance to mention John Ashbery, I, always try to take it. This is a poem that connects Peter Bruegel to John Ashbery. Carnival and Lent evokes sympathy, is amusing. A poem about a painting that characterizes the lives of allegorical figures. A poem with eccentricities. This is a poem that displaces center of canvas, center of universe, in which the cross is elusive. A poem that focuses on religion but ignores humanity, in which what seems prominent becomes less prominent, which focuses on peasants, not gentry, in which peasants and heroes sometimes change places, sometimes merge. This is a poem in which Bruegel is as much like Ashbery as Williams, American and un-American, grim and humorous, in which children cry out to their parents but no one hears them. A poem that gives and receives nothing, takes no prisoners. A poem in which everyone sees a boy drowning and does nothing, arrives and departs without leaving a trace. Thank you.
Like wow, man. That's what it is. Hello. Mark Johnson here. I'm going to skip the haiku because there are more than 14 lines there, and haiku is, I can't hold a candle to Patricia, so there you go. The one I'm starting with is in the book. It's Once Again, but that's a misprint. The actual title is simply Once. Once I thought of you in my soapy, warm bathtub in Cleveland, gaping with your stewardess friends while I languished, impotent, imagining razor-red water, tits and ass, the sum of one, and where I could go from there. The second one is Traps of Time. Caught as we are, it's a little more traditional. Caught as we are and neatly bound round in nervous little knots of time and circumstance, who can think long enough, far enough to try to untie the bonds which moor us worldside, daily doings which undo and make us mockeries of men, marked as we are and sentenced to a common end, which every person, great or small, does his level best to stall. Should we look forward, better back, keep straight on, or leave the track? Hearken unto signs divine, try to have a high old time, or put it off, try to delay, and make the best of work and play. The latter course, it seems, is best, if one but put it to the test. Last one is, last one I wrote many years ago, and the poem is self-explanatory. Old poem. Last night I found an old poem of mine, and I wept because it was so good. There were many other pages of old stuff resurrected from a rusty file cabinet, untouched for decades, and my own work touched me again, like lost lovers in dreams who held me, kissed me deeply, and disappeared as I awakened again to this tired, wired, weird world. That's the name of that tune.
First of all, I want to apologize. What?
It's Ron Combe.
Oh, right.
Wonderful, Ron. Thank you.
Barely Ron. It was a quick... Oh, that's right. I should put it... Sorry. I do want to apologize putting the book together and then getting it to the printers, because the printer took X amount of time. If there are mistakes in anyone's poems, I totally apologize. We raced to get it to fit everything in there, so once again, I'm sorry if there's any problems. No, I'm sorry. Anyhow, 3 quick ones, well, semi-quick. CBGB's, I worked in the Strand bookstore with Tom Verlaine. He invited me to CBGB's the first time his band Television played there. Punk was born that night. I ended up getting into a fight with my date and we left to take it outside. Tom yelled at me the next day, "Why the fuck did you split?" I responded by asking how the hell he knew I'd left. "I can see everything from the stage," he answered as he continued to shelve books. Where I'm from, my father was of German descent. He became a civil engineer and always ruled his roost with an iron fist. My mother's parents were Polish. She was a concert pianist with a large heart who taught the neighborhood kids how to play the piano. This made me a product of a World War II coupling, a war I studied and admired way too much when I was young. I later broke free from that obsession and became a conscientious objector during Vietnam, working as a community organizer in Appalachia. To this very day, I'm still trying to figure out why some men are so sexist and violent. And the last one is, in the silence between the bombs, for Sparrow, who came up with the idea of doing a reading commemorating the fact that for a brief period of time, only one atomic bomb had been dropped in anger. Envy the great good fortune of the elderly Japanese kimono salesman who, on the sunny afternoon of August 5th, 1945, decides to forego his customers in Hiroshima to visit a sick relative in southern Kyushu. 3 days later, the salesman sits with his cousin in a perfectly arranged formal garden discussing his incredibly fortuitous decision given the recent events in Hiroshima. But note well the fickle nature of fate, of unknowable fate. His cousin's house is in a suburb of Nagasaki. Thank you.
Now I'm going to call up the next batch of poets to come to the seats. That would be Mindy Levikov and Maria Lasella, who's also going to read for Tsara Litsky. Erica Mapp, who is also going to read for Juanita. Figure while everybody's up once, if you're reading for somebody, that'll be your time to read for that person, because they can then join you in your own homeroom with the initial that you have instead of theirs. Also need Mindy Machazevic. Does everybody murder your name? You'll say it the right way when you get up there. So come on up to the stairs. I do want to make another pitch for anybody who's watching this on YouTube. If you open up the attachment, the PDF that was sent with the information about the show, there's a thing called X Mix Call. And there's a very easy chart that you just enter your name and you click it and you can join. We don't have anybody on deck now that's ready to do it virtually. I want to urge anyone, please try. We went to some aggravation and trouble and delight to try to provide this as an opportunity to see poets who couldn't make it. So don't be scared. One of the things I try to advise anybody who is apprehensive about tech, which is another euphemism for old, don't hate it first, okay? Just try it, try it, try it. Thank you so much. Okay, next I'd like to introduce the next group, Mindy. Oh, wait. It proves it's very easy to forget to leave the condom on.
All right, thank you. Hello. Okay. Okay, so this one is Mindy Levicove. Yeah. The other Mindy is over there. Okay. Oh, yeah. I don't even need one, really, but okay. This one, from the rooftops where we are high enough, you can scream to Sky Pillow out the windows of this crawling culture, in bed with Daedalus, Nebuchadnezzar, and Tony the Tiger. We manicure, we redesign teeth to fangs that bite back venom going in and out, going out, on that destiny manifest with Crazy Jane, with Deputy Dog, Cilantro from Mexico, and so holier than thou, to trouble in design, sapience, while the cardinals, the popes, the baseball stars, and even I do dream my name, my brain, my lame into light and heat, while boiling water melts our world away, and whisper, so much is left and we won't see it, and we won't be it. The next one is called Recommending Sex After 6 years after menopause. In the end, there is vision, if luck has it, if luck has us. We wash a window, divide the ruckus, see the sights, and if the road is taken and our thirst is slaked, if I keep on track without rush or freeze, I can meet you at the crossroads and make another choice for next time party, in the gloaming, in the puddles, on the shore, in the river. Definition 10:29:21. With blurring outline we search for definition. In this contraption we call the mind. The clavicle is collapsing, the bones rigged to home for the heart, so deep in the belly, the beast barely sleeping. We walk pathways decided by time, and time keeps running towards earth and stars. Thank you very much. Great to see everybody. Stay safe and healthy, you guys. Yay. There's a stray one here. I'm kidding, it's probably yours.
No, I got it.
Oh, okay. Can't I believe I'm actually raising this? Okay. So Maria Lucella is me, and I'm going to read my work first, and then I'll read Tsora's. And I'm sorry she's not here because she really gives her work a little color and flavor. Okay, I'm from a man who swore Madison Avenue created needs so everyone would buy. I'm from a woman who bartered for Catholic school tuition by sewing and tailoring nuns' habits. These Vatican II nuns swore they lived the real communism, a collective of one for all and all for one. I'm from Queen Streets I plastered with flyers to march against the war, any war, and I'm from a patriotic World War II vet who marched side by side with me to protest imperialism in Central America, and shoulder to shoulder with my sisters for reproductive rights.
because even smart girls make mistakes. But he wouldn't want them sacrificing their lives for a toss in the hay. And that was based on an assignment we kind of all had. I'm from. Do tell me what you did inside the time the clouds rolled in that foggy Thursday. What did you think between their arrival and their scattering to make way for a sliver of sunshine to stream across the sky in a distant alien metallic light so hard to name? How many breaths had you taken in between the clouds' arrival? Were they slow? Did you see peacocks or angels in the formations? What were you thinking in between this shift of nature, seemingly so unnatural, so cinematographic, so without cause or wind or breeze, as if a guest on an unnamed day in spring, ushered in waves of weather shifts, no romance or ardor, just change, rather than a stilling of the moment, fractured thoughts, none to catch, grapple to the ground, editing the present to make way for the future in your heart and the sky. Okay, I'm going to skip the third one and read the fourth one since you can't see it anyway. Throw it all out, the photos, the papers, just toss it. Your words to my ears, but not my heart. Years later, I shuffle through bloated banker boxes piled, rearranged, but none not gone. Fat with promises, curses, copious notes on everyone you've ever known. Dreams, short stories, self-help clips, letters sent and unsent, projects in midair, saturated with energy so palpable it chases me out of the garage into safer places, the street cafes, away from articles of the dead, from random places, cartons of words, some in the light, others in the dark. I stumble over prickly discoveries, private journals I never glimpsed at, stray words, dreading each time the door closes that I will be the last one out. That's okay. You can save it for Sora. I'm sort of reading that way, I guess, because the light is so good. So sorry. Okay, this is I'll read 3 of Sora's, which are I really like these. On my birthday, August 31st, 2022. I'm swimming like a happy fish in the Coney Island Ocean. I hope everyone here is enjoying a day of such rich emotions. I recommend highly the local refreshments, pina coladas, daiquiris, margaritas, sold by local vendors who tread the sands, keeping their wares cold by using the ice packs in their knapsacks. Later, riding home on the elevated F train around 7:30 p.m. with my dear friend, Miss M, the Brooklyn landscape we see outside the windows is so fine, it looks enchanted. Poetry, my superhero. For me, being a poem means I cherish the shakes. Being a poet means I'm always trying to push open doors slammed in my face. Being a poet means I will not trade my anger in for resignation, television, or gin. When I write a poem, I am both here and there, in a state of being and becoming, akin to prayer. When I read a poem, I search for its heart. If I find it beating in the palm of my hand, I read the poem over and over to feel again the spark divine. Poetry comforts and consoles me. If I didn't have poetry, I would have long ago walked into the sea. The next one's a little bit sad, so I'm going to skip that one and read the other one. Because after that one, it's too much of a plunge. Swan Song. The very first delivery trucks arrive at 5 a.m. for the Shake Shack that occupies the ground floor of my building. The trucks leave on their engines, the air filled with the hum, hum, hum of progress. Some say the Shake Shack is progress. I don't agree. When I moved here, you could do business with a handshake. I'm so awake now, listening for the echoes of Walt Whitman's wild feet make dancing beneath my window on Water Street. I'm in bed. I run my fingers up and down my legs.
Wonder who will touch me next, who will bless me. The earth expands. I rock in destiny's hands. The waterfront will always be a place for lovers. Thank you.
Erica Mapp.
Thank you, Flash. It's so great to be here again in person with all of you. Thank you for coming. I will read my poems and then I will read the poems of Juanita Torrance Thompson. My name is Erica Mapp. Last night it rained at last. In 5 minutes today, more butterflies than any other day I can recall. Today the pond is glittering with sun. Cabbage whites flit and sulfur butterflies brighten the air. They tend to come in pairs. A small blue dragonfly alights to rest on the wet fabric of the green chaise lounge. An orange skipper slips its probing tongue into the nectar of a sweet pea flower. A bumblebee enters a scented rose. Pink honeysuckle flowers open wide to share the sweetness that they have inside. Butterfly bushes with magenta flowers charm butterflies as if by magic powers. You were both in my dream. You were both in my dream. Now I remember that you telephoned after a long, long time. The bees are busy in the clover, red clover and blue chicory. The dandelions are not open yet. The grass is wet, so are my eyes. I hear the old spring gurgling unseen. Sometimes the world seems closed. Can't even find the name of that purple wildflower I see everywhere near here. Can't get a handle on it. How do I begin to look to find it in a book if I don't know its name? Nearby, a small black spider and a dragonfly rest on the warm concrete. Endless blue sky, and then a large woodpecker flies into view, its red head unmistakable. All I have to do is wait. I'm going to read 2 poems from Juanita Torrance Thompson. And I really admire her spunkiness. She wishes that she could be here today with you. I'm in love with Alex, my AC. Most love family and friends, as I do. Some love their dogs, cats, pet gerbils, dancing turtles. Different strokes, as they say. But I'm in love with my AC, not AC batteries. I love my air conditioner. I love its soft purr like an ocean wave, cooling on the hot Hawaiian summer nights. It takes me to Alaska, supine in Mendenhall iceberg, as the scorching world melts into rivulets. Alexander, my AC, really cools me down. When I move, I hate to leave Alex, so I'll sneak into the room while they sleep, and with my silent drill, I will yank that sucker, Alex, out of the wall and install it in my new digs. Nature's miracles. Savage hills listen to rushing myriad lakes, while corrupted thoughts teem like styrofoam into lime forests. fragrant fingertips hunger for freshness of a hushed refrain, lounging over piano keys. Infinite stars crash into the rolling copper desert as a miracle of charred lobsters envelop the midnight sky. Thank you.
Mindy Matajesevic, otherwise known as the other Mindy. Okay. Rotary phone. New might be good, but don't toss the old. I love my rotary phone. The mouthpiece at my mouth, don't have to yell. No heat coming out of the earpiece, making me tumor concerned. Doesn't need charging, never have to call it, I know where it lives. I can hear smiles and breathing, sighs and attitudes, and when one is infuriated, the other one knows, 'cause the phone has been slammed down. When I was 17, my boyfriend told me he wanted me to be his wife. It sounded so romantic at first. He said 2 will become 1. I thought that would make me a half. I didn't want to be a half. I hadn't yet become whole. Okay, here goes the last one. 198th Street. Oh, God. I'm sorry, I need the light here. Okay. 2 drunk men being loud as I walk by. One declares, "I'm gonna get me some Italian pussy." I'm not Italian or a pussy. I decide it has nothing to do with me. Women walk around them, and I think, if 2 drunk women were out there saying, "I'm gonna get me some Italian dick," there'd be a line around the corner. Thank you.
Okay, now we have 2 more intrepid virtual poets on deck. Yay! So we have Pat Lee, followed by Kit Kennedy from San Francisco. And Pat Lee, you'll suggest where you're from. And I don't know if he can hear me or not, so we could just say really wonderful things about him and he won't get a swelled head. Anyway, while they're going on, the next group, so I don't have to keep coming back up here, to come on deck would be Stephen Miller, and then Chime Lama, if she's made it to the theater, and Eve Packer, Thomas Rigney, and last of all, myself. Okay, watch the screen.
Buoyant. Sense is soluble in alcohol. So when you tilt that bottle, it's in all those big bubbles, floating up from the mouth to the bottom of your beer. This is not a poem. It's just a misquote. Renee Magritte.
Yeah, you read too? I don't know if he can hear. Yeah. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Yes. Is that 2 poems? Read one more.
Read me. Writing for me is a joy. Reading a greater. But someone else reading what I've written and enjoying it? A true form of bliss.
Thank you. Where are you joining us from? Where are you?
Los Angeles.
Hey. So you're there early in the day. Thank you for joining us. And next up, with the tech virtuous goddesses are with us, will be Kit Kennedy from San Francisco. So this is the California section of our program. You're on.
Again, okay. Okay, good. Tomorrow, inevitable as today. Gray silk morning. Sky short on sympathy. A dull worry in the air. To come this far, glance over her shoulder, and never turn around. Notice, door ajar, napkins folded, friends gathered, empty chair. Didn't you crave one last sniff of the gardenia at the door? This place of reverence for water and thorn, my backyard of dreams.
It was a special disco lighting. You could see the bulbs swinging as she was reading. All the things that are new to enjoy about a hybrid. Maybe hybrid cars worked about this well when they began to, when you come to think of it. All right, let's start the next group. Yeah, she left. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. Well, we'll just, please email her your applause, okay? That's Kit Kennedy. No, because we have all new ways that this is all going to work. And so the next group that's up on the chairs would be Stephen Miller, Chaim Lama, Eve Packer, Thomas Rigney, and then I'll pop up as well. So say your name and carry on. Oh, you got your little condom thing, which I forgot to bring.
There you go.
I think that's mine. Sorry.
I'm Stephen Paul Miller, and I'm going to start with Winding Sonnet over here. Oh, okay. How's that? Okay. Okay, I'm Stephen Paul Miller, and I'm going to start with Winding Sonnet, which is over here. Winding Sonnet. I wake up and see my mother pulling off my sheet. I look straight ahead and see my births layered into crystal. I close my eyes and see straight through our burly angel boss in the sonnet factory. I want to read this one because it's on YouTube. So it's about some Polish students I had a while ago who are now professors, teachers, museum curators, children's book writers, other kinds of writers, supermodels, and other socially uplifting jobs. So it's called My Fulbright. My Fulbright. My student, Malgorzata Zolgowaska, says that it is not that Polish university students do not know about their history. It is that they have no way of making sense of it. So why bother? If the cliches don't work, there is no process in place to go beyond them, she tells me on the last day of class. Several of my students say, I expected something impossibly exotic from Poland. Still, I'd like to write about Poland. Stop! You are revealing all your feelings, says Agnieszka. You can't make American literature from Polish history. And my last poem is Tide, over here. Tide. She asks me if I can identify a particular moment. You mean the moment, I answer, when I become the cliff I hover over and time goes out with the tide? Yes, she says, that's the moment. Thank you.
Is Eve here? Okay. Yeah, take off the mic cover and.
This is the closest I'll come to a condom in quite a while, unfortunately. Rhythm and twist, how we walk, New York, what crazy makes out-of-towners tourists, not from here persons. At turnstile, hesitate, wait, a corner, don't maneuver, stairs, escalators, steps, street, block the passageways, hover the door, disturb. The rhythm and twist, push, pull, trigger mean, New York beat. Thank you. This is called One of Those Things. The glorious girl in the sexy, glorious, glimmering red gossamer dress, celebrating her class prom, aware of the moment, the theater, the backdrop, in the gray ruins of their school in Kharkiv, Ukraine, dead kids, soldiers, civilians, old people, murdered by the Russian invading army, but not an 18-year-old, not a 15-year-old, with an assault rifle, an AK-47, a child slaughtering fellow children miles from his own home, as Ella is now singing, just one of those things. When the city is like this, night fallen down, when the city is like this, a few lit windows in the dark, when the city is like this, night fallen down. Thank you.
Yay, thank you. Okay, Thomas Rigney.
Hi, Tom Rigney. Things take a little longer. Someone left the Death Cottage door unlatched. My fingers slid across the crystal knob. The door, which had always asked me to heave against it, this time yielded comfortably, drew me in to the warmth of an imaginary fire roaring in the hearth. But no wood was stacked, only the ring of the axe as it bit through the logs of my imagination. Regardless how tightly I peered, I could no longer see past the window. Only heard the insistent hooves of the angel steed slow and circle the severe stone room as he called to me, then settled me comfortably behind him, told me the ride would not be easy, that to move between worlds as we planned would take all we had, possibly more. Speculation on the life of a holy man. The monk shaves by the window, tugging a rutted blade across his chin, as winter brings blue chill to a cell without heat. He mutters an unheard curse, draws it back just soon enough to twist it into a prayer, to thank the very good Lord for the cold, for everything, and blames Satan for his part in this.
Okay. And this one is called Burial. Clutching fingers into the blood splashing down on mud-shredded boots. Twisting fingers within the pocket that keeps the mummifying prayer page. Oh God, preserve. Only line he remembers. 17 and dragging his emptying self toward the glory of an open grave. Along this road in a winded place. God preserve. Did you make me for this? Statue of wonder, clutching the orb of pride? He crawls, so few parts left of him. The heart a flat skin bag, christening the mud. Lungs airless, twisting across a burning bush branch on the ground of confident battle. Thanks.
Surprise, Flash Rosenberg. Seven-year-old grandson looks at a promo card labeling a storage box from a 90s performance. He looks at the card, looks at me, looks at the card, looks at me. Auntie Flash, is that you? Yes. What happened? Well, I was lucky enough to explain that I keep waking up every day, and that's the best thing that can happen to anyone. Dinner guests I don't know introduce themselves at an Upper West Side dinner party. 2 boast, I went to Harlem. 3 boast, I went to Yale. I boast, I went to Yale and Harvard too, but it was pronounced University of Delaware. Happy birthday. Reading email is the new cake. Party hats are over, celebrations tweet. Instead of blowing out candles, I delete. Auto-notified birthday greets, posting at the rate of 25 happies per hour. A traffic jam of cheer clogs my screen. No ice cream. This melts my head. Where is the ribbon? I answer a thread. My gift is guilt about your email unread. No time for champagne, no sex in bed. Instead of happy birthday, we now have online dread. And then I'm going to read for Jan Emerson, who designed the cover of the anthology last year, and she asked me to read these. The first one is Trash Day. Wearing fatigues, I catch myself stealing my own garbage, surreptitiously slide down the back stairs, can in hand, tramp on concrete in my combat boots, float walk across wide water, buoyed up by breaststroke and a butterfly. My boots come up for air. Surprise, surprise, I'm still here. Pants on fire. Because I'm special, I want a special master appointed by my special friend to examine how my landlords can raise my rent $300 all at once. I want your taxes to pay for my special master, and I don't want to pay any rent until my special master has determined that I never have to pay rent because I am so special. That's all. P.S. Your vote doesn't matter. P.S. 2, you have to pay my rent. So that's for Jan. And the next group to come up to regale us all with their original poetry is Dorothea Hutton-Schur, Zev Shankin, E.K. Smith, who's going to be reading as well for Marjorie Hanft, and Sparrow. Is Sparrow here? Yay, Sparrow, okay. And Catherine Fazio. Dorothea, as soon as you're ready, pop on up and begin to read. Once you get your microphone hat. Oh, the suspense of it all.
I'm Dorothea Hutton-Schur. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Free decor. New Yorkers are a restless tribe. Keep moving companies in clover, allowing other citizens who know Wednesday is discard day for left behinds to be picked up. The detritus of others' leavings makes the Department of Sanitation the city's decorator. Souvenirs. When the season ends, dragonflies, canoes, wicker rockers become grist for poets' summer odes and spark memories of sweet, short romances which warm or increase winter's chill. In brief, if I didn't have my morning cup of tea, I can assure you I wouldn't be me.
And next we have Zev Shankin.
Bubbles. No bubbles. I'm Zev Shankin. Poet poem. You want your poems to be the truth, but your lawyer says, tell the judge you don't remember. You argue, how would that make them beautiful? Your lawyer, look, do you want to win the case or an argument? Before you can answer, he says, tell me, how often do you know when your poems are complete? You, I wait for God to tell me. Lawyer, and how often has that happened? That's what it means to be a grown-up poet. Find yourself an advocate to make the real world sing. Autumn. Autumn. You return to the serene focus of play. Your touchdown pass was never real, but that didn't blur its clarity. And vivid rereading, Emma Bowery is not real. You know this and still weep. Is that my phone? Tell him I'm not here. Kharkiv. My daughter's birth parents are from Kharkiv. My mother's mother, by coincidence, or the hand of a god with the sense of the just, emigrated from Kharkiv in 1904, fleeing pogroms. I watch fathers on TV weep for their children and know they could be me, or 1/4 me, or all of my adoptive daughter, now living in New Jersey, free, beautiful, and kind. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Esther Smith. E.K. Smith in the book. Oh. All prepared. There we go. Ketchup. My dad said his friend said there were bottles of ketchup at his sales conference. And when the speaker got up, he said, "You need to catch up on your sales." Ronald Reagan said ketchup was a vegetable. Richard Nixon's favorite food was cottage cheese and ketchup. And now, ketchup dripping from the White House walls. In Repo Man, there is a shootout in the ketchup aisle. "I blame society," says the dying punk. Your 3 minutes are up. In 1982, my aunt called me and said, "I am losing my mind." I knew she was losing her mind because she called me long distance on a weekday afternoon. My aunt had used an egg timer when she called my mother every Sunday night. I would hear my mother's side of their conversation. "It's nice to hear your voice, dear." Conspiracy theory. I told him my friend told me her boss had married a younger woman. She wanted children. My friend's boss did not want more children. He had already raised 2 with his first wife. So my friend's boss went and got a vasectomy and did not tell his new younger wife. I said, "Wasn't that horrible?" And he said, So now I'm going to attempt to read for Marjorie Hanft, who has a firewall issue with reading, and she's in Southern Illinois. Marjorie was my friend in college. We were like the 2-star writers of our creative writing classes. So the first one I think is going to be easier to read. I'm just trying to get the light to shine on the poem. Okay. June octostitch. On sunny mornings, aquatic turtles surface while monarda fades. As we shift to longer days, butterweed fluffs into seeds, May-apples bear fruit, and pollen deliquesces into murky haze. Another nightmare after Federico Garcia Lorca. Nearby, a molting goldfish flutters. Morels rot overnight, and my weary brain whirls like a rusty playground merry-go-round with no riders. I want to pin down time with a thread of dawn and sketch prairie roads of reverie with broken strands of switchgrass. How many survivors traipse through this life? Nearby, a molting goldfish flutters. And for anyone who wants, at Purgatory Pie Press, we printed some Get Out the Vote postcards with our antique wood type. So feel free to come and I'll give you one. And get out the vote.
Hey.
Oh, hi. Yeah. Hello, I'm Sparrow. I want to start with a small slide flute solo. Oh. I want to start with a small slide flute solo. Okay, thank you. progress report. I am improving so rapidly as a poet that the end of this poem is better than the beginning. This is called My Philosophy. I am monogamous but not monotheist. I believe in many gods but only one vagina. Shouldn't have read that. This is called A Spy. A Spy. A spy continues spying until the very end. Even as she's being shot, she's taking mental notes. Well, here's my encore. It's called Prayer. Just once in my life, I'd like to write a goddamn legitimate poem. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
This is Barbara Fazio.
No, Catherine.
Catherine, sorry.
That's quite all right.
We do everything we can to get your first name wrong every year, but this was... Thank you.
I'm changeable. What can I tell you? Like, Mike, hello. Can you almost... Wait, I'm a little... Okay, let's try to... Down.
The stem goes down, yeah.
Hello? Okay, there I go. All right, good. All right. Anyway, thank you for being like a quilt for me. Anyway. Archaeologist. Archaeologist, can you dig up pain? Yank it from under the car where a foot soldier's helmet lies intact with strap and head attached? Can you reach into the moist receptacle of a woman's body with forceps, cast the headpiece, face the soldier's mother? As you push shards of bone away, can you knock on a door, deliver the president's letter, tell the not yet bride she's a widow? What are we, us, going to do? What are we, us, going to do when shoelaces made in Alabama need flexible soles and we've banned plastics? What are we, us, going to do when souls in Africa need leather shipped from Brazil? What are we going to do to stop the Portuguese from banning free shipping? What about the metal we need to complete the pattern around the sneaker holes we thread to tie to walk? What are we, us, going to do when farmers get tired of losing cattle to tempeh? What are we going to do? We've sold the post office, but the NRA still licks our postage stamps with new heritage additions. What are we going to do to make our boots blood-proof? How do we fit the Jolly Green Giant with Nikes since he's grown anxious to eat breakfast and his wheat is on fire in Ukraine? Thank you. I am a beaver. I am a beaver with beaver soul and beaver shoes. See me paddle across the stream or see me in an American dream. I wade through water day by day to build a home I pray will stay. When trespassers pass and squash my dream, I swim to squatters' rights, mend my scene. Moving mud by mouth and twigs at hand, I aim to make a homeland stand. Thank you.
sort of the last pitch for those of you watching on YouTube who, of the 30 that signed up to do this virtually, the heroic 3 that have turned up, it's sort of like, I feel like we've made this extraordinary banquet, and now we have a lot of leftover virtual time. So that when you feel like you don't have enough time when you go home after the show, you virtually have all the time from the poets that relinquish that time just for you. And that way we can look at it more positively instead of like, well, where did they go? Anyway, the next group that I want to call up is John J. Trouse, Angelo Verga, Carolyn Wells, Jeff Wright, and Steve Zeitlin. And then there'll be, the way this is going to work is after those poets read, that is theoretically the end of the show, but it isn't, because we're going to have an open mic. And then if there are any poets from Brevitas who showed up late, do let me know, because I really would love to, we all would love to include you. So, I'll just sort of have an Ollie end free at that point. And so that's it. The next thing is John J. Trouse.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here. Thank you, Flash. Thank you, Brevitas Committee. Thank you, Bob Holman, for allowing us to use this great space. It's really wonderful to be back in person. So, I'm John J. Trouse, by the way. Escort to the stars. Not Becafico, not Ortolan. Before the coming hurricane, I see beyond the window pane, between the sudden spurts of rain, a bunch of birds plunge in and out, the branches of the fig tree. First taking cover in the rain and diving in and out again, then pecking at what figs remain, they follow this primordial route into the ancient fig tree. Family affair. On the top shelf of my DVD case, Caligula 1979 sits next to Caesar and Cleopatra 1945, the great-great-great-grandnephew next to his great-great-great-granduncle. Little Women. On reading Little Women for the first time, she was disappointed to learn that it was not about midgets during the Civil War. Thank you.
Hey, Angelo. Did you get a microphone hat?
Of course I got.
Oh, good. Okay.
I know better than to speak before I'm wearing a condom. So. There. Good. Hey guys. About the poets. You should read those, especially mine, because it's really good. But you should read all of them, actually. Charged with possession of 20 grams of heroin with intent to sell. My defense was it was for personal spiritual use. The judge gave me 36 months. With overcrowding, I only did 24. I started smoking cigarettes. Correction is boring. Push-ups suck. I quit a month before I was released. I didn't want to leave with any addictions I didn't have before I was locked up. Okay, this one is called Local Train. Anybody else ever take the C train? Because it's my train. That's my train, yeah. There's a lot going on the C train. You could probably write a book about the C train. Local train. The C train woman's singing invades the air. Many stops between here and there. Against the odds, her ample pipes never strike one clean note. When she exits our ears, the space we used to hear is sanctified by silence. And the last poem I'm going to read is called Good Deed. Or mitzvah, for those of us that use that terminology. Weeds growing out of my head, flowers, grass, vines too. Weeds growing out of my head and body, flowering grass and morning glory vines. The morning glories haven't flowered yet. A girl, a waitress, postal window clerk, a genteel, relaxed girl offers to cut them back for me. I don't have any scissors, I don't have any money, and I can't pay you. She says she can do it as a good deed. I remove her thick glasses so she can see. We are happy together. A pod with 2 peas.
I got the red condom. Ooh. Yeah, I don't mess around. Oop. It's from my cabaret singing class, don't worry. Carolyn Wells. What I woke up thinking. The trellis of time growing into intertwined years, a mix of barbs and roses, of perfumed nights and daily travails. There are dreams to sustain us even now. Good Friday. Avoid meat, dancing, and horse racing. Shrouded in gravity, the day will pass like any other. While questioning sin, rebirth, and redemption, don't forget to file taxes. Cappuccino. Like a morning kiss, a trace of tobacco and lovemaking, sweet with slight bitterness and hints of other kisses. Sweet outweighs the bitter. Bitter belies the truth. Slightly sharp and laden with promise. Thank you.
It's Jeff Wright.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh, let's see. This is like if I had a lemon and you were some shrimp, I would be like squeezing you. This will never work. You say, how's it go like this now? Ron showed me. No, wait a minute. All right. Thank you. God, I love Brevitas.
There's always props, yeah.
Props. That's what we need, right? All right, we're going to call our next collaboration Props. I'm going to steal a bunch of Sparrow's poems and say that I wrote them. Actually, the last time I made up something by Sparrow, he didn't notice that I had made it up. That was fun. So, thank you, everybody. Ron, Zev, everybody, for just being here and doing this. It's so great. It's such a great community. I feel like we're in This is a secret society called Pen Broke. Not that our pens are broken, but we are, you know, they're like. So this was kind of in response to Ukraine. Changing station. Agony, the inevitability of our demise. We were spinning sugar when the giant crutch fell short, the clocks running for their lives, the city humming like a freezer, a black caboose on ice. You were making mushroom ragu. I was admiring your industry, reading the Metropolitan section. When the denouement comes, look for me in the cockpit, handing out straws to clutch at as we veer into a viral spiral. The Empire State Building's opal spire cuts into night. That's kind of how I am now, a lightsaber ready for hire. I thought, what would people want to see in a poem? They want to see New York shit. What's like New York? So host and hostage. Jackdaws gather at 427 to wrangle over afternoon's felt hat. I listen to piano trio number 1 in E flat. A little ocean gargles in my throat, practicing bad goodbyes. Somehow I've managed to love all who I've known. Curmudgeons in dark dungeons. Nobody here, right? And giants in fog cages. Their beautiful wounds stuffed into bottles wash up now like beached stars on hissing sand. Our suffering is buffered by the offerings we glean from our trials, squeezing forever out of a while. And that's why I like Wiley. Wiley. I guess that's what it's like. I wanted to finish with this poem as sort of a book in, the back crowd. Oh my God, they're just naughty back in there. Yo, don't even look. Don't encourage them. All right, thank you. Thank you, I'm sorry. Okay, Eve, baby. Thank you. This is kind of a book into the Ukraine poem. It was like, okay, so now it's like the election. Now it's really dark and scary, you know, even though we've got Mother Magnetic Mary, you know, riding on the dashboard here. We still need all the luck and magic we can get. And this brings a lot of magic. And this is called The Wichita Doctors Are Restless. Still waiting to be overturned. We cornered the market on nervous green energy. Twister Alley, your black robes flare. Your artificial prayers plague the prairies. Hold me close under the hanging sky, O deputy of the pellet court. Night built its nest on the window's brow. Abraham Lincoln is out trick-or-treating. The brain-dead fall for the gag rule like unhinged leaves in a leaf chain store, like the fall of the Roman Empire. A white pumpkin spoofs my bookshelf. You're running late and message me. Crazy love is simply the icing on the gravy. Thank you, everybody, so much. Love you, Brevitas. Ow!
Jeff, take off there you go. Take your hat, your little souvenir. And this is Steve Zeitlin, who is responsible for all of this beginning, the concept, the luring people in. The reason I persist in wanting to host, because I want to give back for the gift of being part of this organization. Thank you, Stephen.
And forgive me for all of it, right? And thank you all for helping in many times improving these poems along the way. I'm going to read them in reverse order. I write because I never say just what I mean. I write because that's where my mind wants to go. I write to fill the empty pages of my soul. I write to grasp the fleeting, to prove the sentience of being. So I ask the Lord, give me the nod, guide my pen, my fingers on the keyboard, till I clasp my hands in thanks and praise, for writing is the healing hand of God. And I feel that way. That's why I don't walk into the ocean, as one of the other poets said here. Gossamer Bridge is a very folklore-based poem, I guess. The human unit of time, writes Margaret Mead, stretches from a grandfather's memory of his own childhood to a grandson's knowledge of those memories. Yet as each generation slips away, memories become the threads of stories, a crisscross of tales that span the generations. Jokes and family yarns to follow, stringing out across the abyss that separates the living from the dead. Gossamer threads connecting yesterday with tomorrow. After each loss, we take first steps across the span, test our footing, wondering if our crossing can bear the weight of sorrow. And this one's called Learning to Live with Spirits. Upon my death, I bequeath to each of you who loved my disappearing soul a magician's cloak to conjure me in memory. Proceed with a light touch. Tip your hat. Wave the cloak across the table till my spirit appears like a bouquet of roses, leaves the audience of mourners astonished, hushed. Invoke our favorite punchlines with a magician's sleight of hand. Levitate the memory till my spirit lingers in the air. The secret to the trick is that we loved each other so, so much. Though swords of death skewer the sword box, my spirit lies curled around the blades, untouched. Thank you very much.
Thrilled to announce we have another virtual poet to close out this part of the show, and that's going to be George Northrup.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me all right. I'm hearing an echo. I think I can put up with that, but I don't want to inflict it on you. I'll go ahead. The first poem is called Cookie Monster. My new app scans the hard drive for cookies and swallows them whole. Websites have grown wise to this, have stopped trying to persuade me that cookies provide improved service. Now they may block access if I decline their half-baked treat. Like Don Corleone, they make me a cookie I can't refuse. Second poem is called 1719. Invited to be baptized, the slave girl inquired, "Pastor, as a man of God, can you tell me how that works? Will I be free in heaven like the white, or still a washerwoman slave? Reverend Parsons narrowed his uplifted eyes to a slit. His frown reconsidering the entire project. Thank you.
Pounding the surface with her doll parts for so many years, sucking the jelly out of a donut. We're trying to stay human and not to do something bad on the page. The meeting of our minds at the party where the light fell. It was the only space we owned at the moment. We hear the voices talking like tea kettles, and we finished our handheld drinks while the ice cubes tumbled. Just a little chant. I put my ear against the wall, listening in the darkest hour, and I reached just before dawn, and I can almost feel the hospitality of my muscles working together, causing movement. I've learned to feel nothing from what you feel nothing. I pulled waves and wind out of my mouth, and I slipped them into the glamorous life. My rib cage filled up with sexy oxygen, while the galloping stallions began clicking sparks with the carpenter in the sky, looking forward to the next diving bell as I turn the lights out. And between you and I, my phone number remains the same. Thank you so much.
Michael Howley. This is called Incandescence. Our neighbor fell and broke a bone in his neck. For the pain, he is taking morphine. Lucky it's not the hangman's bone, he laughed, the one that breaks if a hanging is properly done. The morphine, he says, is causing hallucinations. Beautiful women coming to him across the fields. And this is called In West Kerry, which is a county closest to America in Ireland. In West Kerry. The lovely Montbretia sway in the wind, tall grasses keeping time behind them. My brother reports a sighting, a whole family of our native jays. The tide comes in again on Fina Strand. A fox saunters past the house, not bothering with concealment. The evening conversation of the birds enters my rib cage.
I have escaped the city. But where are you? You were sitting up in bed, writing. Thank you.
I have one poem, but then I can cite this haiku. For Sako Ichi, it's written a few winters ago, so I can't remember her name.
Just say the poem, read the poem, not too much preview.
Haiku.
Okay, there you go.
She was a Japanese homeless woman for a while. Woke up one morning, snow covered blankets the courtyard. Snow melts, she is found. Sad, but there's a whole story behind it. July 24, 2022. My mother had passed away June 7th, 2022, at the age of 94. Dreamt Mom wanted to sleep and crawled into my loft bed. Awoken, my subconscious haunts. Her looks of speechless angers and Chinese curses reflecting grandpa's untold stories, witnessing father's beatings. Nothing got resolved for 70 years of loveless traumas. 2. She looks up. Oh, sorry. Oh, now it's 3. To escape, I got Dottie's old stash of a few years. She never left her apartment, cleaning immaculately, smoked supremely every day, so now I'm in a better state of mind.
My name is Michel Desrosiers, and I was invited here by my cousin.
Mic hat. Put your mic hat on.
There
you go.
Sorry. I'm not gonna lie, I was making fun of everybody that didn't do that up here. So, you got me. Albert Depa, he invited me here. So. Kiss me. Hello there, morning, noon, and night. It is your eyes and beautiful hips and thighs that continue to permeate my dreams, seemingly every thought that I have. My daily routine has taken on a whole new meaning. Thinking of you has been a mainstay and housed a sense of permanence in my mind from the very moment I laid eyes on you. In everything that I do, I now find myself lifted with glee. As a baseline posture and disposition, which essentially brings me back to the true essence of who I actually am. So, the more I find myself drawn to you, thinking of you, spending time with you, and peering into your consciousness, I in turn feel closer to who I am, closer to myself. When I walk, my feet barely touch the ground, and yet you proceed to take daily promenades through my mind, which further creates a sense of synergy that I have not felt ever before. Just get over here and kiss me already. kiss me. Yes. Do that again. Oh, you feel that? Yeah, you feel that. Oh shit, damn. I feel that too. Our kisses are epic and possess a spell that leaves us entranced beyond, well, what's understood does not have to be explained, particularly since there is no true explanation that would suffice. So, yes, kiss me, tease me, please me, and do it again and again and again. I live for your tender kisses, second to no other, and has created a zeal for life that is unmatched by anything else in this world. So, what are you waiting for? Kiss me.
Okay, for the second round of the open mic, I'm thrilled to be able to invite up here Linda Kleinbub, my cousita, Susan Wyman. This is a poet in New York that we discovered we were distant cousins, so that's pretty exciting. And Libby Mislan and Ernest Woodley. Thank you for coming up to the chairs, getting yourself a little microphone hat, and bringing more wit and buoyancy and liveliness and insight to this esteemed afternoon.
I fail at doing this, sorry. I don't know.
It's always hard to know which way they
I got
go.
the trick one, you know, like the birthday candle. Oh, here I go. All right. All right, there we go. All right. All right, all of that. I got 2 short poems. They're 4 lines each. The first one is called Colors. You're a blue. I'll pretend I'm yellow. Together we'll grow like green after rain. And the next one is called Cocktails, based on a true story that one night with my friend Ian. Cocktails. Long night at Dada leaves me with music in my head. After party at the bitter end, girlfriends bond over fucked up men. Thank you.
I'm going to be getting any taller anytime soon.
Just push it down. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. As I
yeah,
said,
that's good.
I'm not growing. Right? So, okay. This is called The Journey. It's all about the journey. No one cares how you get there but you. And I'm sorry to be the last one reading and to read this. It's called Finality. The silence of slot machines in the early morning, not a clink, not a clank. A single loud voice breaks my meditation. I hide away in the corner with my computer, 4 hours into the funeral where silence will take place.
Is Libby Mislan or Ernest Woodley still here? Okay, come on up, Ernest. Remember, short poems.
Okay, I remember. Just bear with me a few seconds here. Just bear with me a few seconds, folks. Okay.
You can
Here
just
we
pull
go.
the poll up. Just pull the poll. There you go.
Okay, test it, 1, 2.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon. Okay, this is the first short one. This is called "You Are a Star on Earth." You are a star on Earth, gone too soon. Miss your singing, miss your dancing, miss your ageless spirit. Now you are a star in the sky, looking down, shining on us. Okay, my last short poem is from an anthology I was part of over a decade ago called Quilted from the Heart, Voices from Within. And the poem I'm going to read is called Some Trees Wish. And if I find the page, I'll start reading it. I found the page, good. Okay, here we go. Some trees and their limbs reaching in different directions. No hands, no nerves, no flesh. No blood running through veins, never able to return the love they feel for the children who wrap their arms around them when they play, when they climb, when they shelter themselves from the storm. Some trees wish for more than being wooden sticks planted into earth. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out this afternoon. I really appreciate that we were able to successfully pull off the Brevitas 19 Annual Festival of the Short Poem. My heart goes out to everyone here who had the patience and the enthusiasm and the originality and the wit and the stamina to hang in here for all the poets that are here today. May we all be live next year. And any of your virtual enterprises, I hope they go well. And Graham, whatever word you bump into next, that's really fun. Sparrow and I had a really good time playing with that. And you're all invited to a reception at City Lore now. We need to leave the room expeditiously because they have something else coming up. But we'll tiptoe out swiftly, quietly, humorously. And thank you all again. Much love to you. Good night. Oh, and extra shout out, please, extra for Cyril Blanc, who did so much work to include the virtual poets, and then because of, they just not so many participated, but you'll tell them that it was easy because you were here and you could see how easy it was. Okay, thank you all. The address for City Lore is 56 East 1st Street. That's 56 East 1st. It's just down the block. And we'll see you all there so we can mingle, complain, do everything else that we need to do. Remember to take all your belongings, even the personal ones. But I'd be there. Oh, this is so good to see you. Yeah, that's fun.